Fala galera, Rodrigo Flauzino na área. Hoje o programa é especial, temos a presença, tivemos a oportunidade de conversar com o grande Roland Grapple, guitarrista, lendário guitarrista do Helloween. Ele ficou muito tempo na banda, depois ele foi seguindo aí a carreira com a banda Masterplan. Então ele veio aqui para o Brasil fazer alguns shows com os músicos locais e a gente teve a oportunidade de conversar com ele no Sesc Santo André. Antes de conferir, não deixa de dar aquele joinha, se inscrever, lembre-se do Apoia-se. Você pode vir aqui apresentar um vídeo comigo, de repente vir assistir, já pensou, vem o Roland Grapple, enfim. Dá uma olhada na descrição do vídeo e bora lá! First of all, Roland Grapple, first of all, thank you very much for joining us here. First time you're playing with a local band here, how is it going so far?
Local musicians, it's not a band, so we're I think two guys play together. But it's beautiful, it's like I came here last week and we had one rehearsal only and it was really nice, so I felt like, wow, I was surprised to be honest. Good playing, not many mistakes, nothing, and so today is our fourth show. And 1 or 2 days ago we talked about maybe adding one extra song, and you heard it already at the sound check. So we played this song today, the first time back from my life.
Nice song, Masterplan song, right?
Yes.
And what do you usually bring with you for these gigs? You bring your guitar, one guitar, two guitars, you bring pedals, how does it work?
I try to make everything very cheap as possible. I don't want to have any extra luggage, which you always have to pay when you're flying. So I bring just my pedals, my cables, and power supply, so I don't need to buy batteries. And my guitar, only one guitar, always.
Do you like those cab simulators and that stuff like Camper and Fractal? What do you think of what kind of equipment?
I tried my camper, I have one in the studio, and I tried it live 2 times and the band said please don't use it. And I like the old school kind of. I love my camper, I'm using 90% the camper in the studio, but not live so far. So I always when I go for festivals or for gigs here, I ask please, do you have a PV 5150 65.5 or the new Eddie Van Halen, which I didn't see any here so far. I also like rectifiers, Lizard movies, the old ones, the more modern ones as well. I like most of them. And so whatever I get, but I'm always telling please no Marshall. Because Masterplan sound doesn't work with a Marshall. And I love Marshall and I have still 3 in my studio. But when I want my old sound with a Stratocaster, then I use a Marshall, and it's more like Yngwie or Richie Blackmore kind of sound. So like Pumpkins, all the solo parts I use, that you know the album we made.
Yes.
I use all the solo parts with my old setup, and Stratocaster, my booster pedal, like Yngwie's using, DOD 250, noise gate, that's it, and my old Marshall from Helloween days. And the funny thing is, people even doesn't hear the difference. You know, sometimes they say, when you play the Stratocaster again, I said, here on the last album. Not the rhythm, but all the solo parts, and never leave parts.
Yeah, that's a question I have. Why did you change? Because I remember you as a big Stratocaster player back there 20 years ago. What made you change from Stratocaster to Les Pauls?
When I was young, I started with Les Pauls, to be honest. I had Ibanez Les Paul. Before I had a cheap guitar, which I don't even know the company. And then when I had my first own money from my parents or some work I had, I think I was 16, I bought this Ibanez, and I still have it. And later I had an Explorer, Ibanez, Gibson was too expensive. But then I had Gibson, Explorer, so I had always Gibson guitars. And the funny thing is, I was a big Scorpions fan and I like to have also Stratocaster. So I bought a Stratocaster from 1978 and it was horrible sounding. I remember, I never had a good sound with this. And I needed a white one, this white maple board, because I loved Oli John Ross from Scorpions. And but then Eddie Van Halen came 78, 79, and I changed everything on the guitar. So I made humbucker pickups and I made everything by my own. And after 3 times totally changing this guitar, it was totally broken. So I just put it on the wall and that's it. It wasn't able to play anymore. It was horrible guitar. When I joined Helloween later, they said they can give me like a deal with a guitar label, BC Rich. When you see some old pictures, maybe you find it on the first tour in America. I played BC Rich guitar with some lightning on it, and
was that 89?
89, yeah, 89. And I played this guitar 1 or 2 years, but then on the first album we did, Pink Bubbles, I used mainly my Valley Art, which was a Stratocaster, but was a Gibson scale. It was a really small Stratocaster. So we used basically this guitar, and I don't remember if I had a real. But then I felt so much in love, like Yngwie Malmsteen at that time, that I said, I want this guitar again, you know. And I bought some, I think people see on the Pink Bubbles video, Kids of the Century, my first Stratocaster, which is an Yngwie model from 96, like, no, not 96. Bullshit. We made this album 93.
92, 93.
Yeah, so I think it's an 88 model, one of the first models of Yngwie Malmsteen. Yes.
So you mentioned that you decided to go for Les Pauls, and especially the amps, the 5150, for a heavier sound.
Later, much later.
With the master plan, but did you was that the case you left Helloween to play heavier sound?
No, I just fell in love on the Dark White. We changed everything. We used Mesa Boogie, and we used my Les Paul from my studio. We put this down tuning strings on, extra this trick. So it's like a tuning like the 7th string, but it has 6 strings. You know, so the high E string is not there. So basically, I don't have to play 7th string, but I make this trick. Royce showed me this, and then since then I use this Les Paul in the studio. And so when we went out of the band Helloween, so I just decided to stay in this kind of heavier sound, which I felt in love with. And so I had a Black Les Paul already, which I used in Helloween sometimes on Still We Go. I remember the rhythm part. People thought it's a Stratocaster. And you see, people doesn't even hear the difference. And so my Black Les Paul is my main guitar in the studio, but I'm not using it live anymore. So this is my live guitar now. And it's around, both have the same age, from 1976. And yeah, people hate. Some hating these pickups, but I like EMGs. Somehow I love it. I love EMGs in the humbucker, but single coils I prefer not to use. You know, I like DiMarzio or Seymour Duncan or something better.
I don't understand one thing is that you were in a very important part of Helloween history because things you've done, writing stuff and important albums is what kept the band together and keep going after Michael Kidd left. So I don't understand, why don't you keep going with the band? Why did you decide to leave?
I was fired. I didn't decide. We came from the tour. I said goodbye to the guys at the airport, hugging each other, saying say hi to your wives. We see us soon. And I came home, had an email. I'm fired.
Weird. I saw some recent comments, harsh comments on you by Andy Darius. I don't understand why. Would you be interested by maybe joining them for a United tour, this kind of tour they're doing?
Which harsh comment?
Like you were kind of a trait or something?
Oh yeah, they said, not me. Yeah, Andy said I'm a betrayer. I don't care what he's saying, but I don't know why he's saying it. I don't know the reason. I thought we have a good relationship because I met him 3 years ago, 4 years ago, twice. We spoke on both days together like 4 hours. and I'm smiling to them. I'm not blaming them that I was fired, and but they still have problems with me. I don't know why. You know, most of the people know me. I'm a nice guy drinking beer only. That's it.
I agree. I'm very honored that you are here talking to us. And I have a question. One more. In '96, '98, you came here to play with Helloween and also for big festivals. You have any memory, funny story of that time?
Yeah, first it was very exciting to go first time to South America and then Brazil. And then this big stadium with 55,000 people. And
I was there.
Yeah, I was there as well.
Eric, he's here, who's recording here, was there too.
Great. So I had good memories, of course. The crowd looked amazing. But again, there was some wrong decisions from the management made in my terms of using. They said we can save some money. I come with you as a tour manager, and there was my old roadie, which worked like the first years in Helloween, and he didn't know I changed the tuning of some songs or guitars, and he said, "Your roadie stays in England, and I come with you and I help you then on stage. Okay, this is fine. We can save some money." And I said, "Okay." What was happening was I had the wrong tuning on stage. He gave me the guitar, and it was so. You know, the Stratocaster has this floating tremolo system, and if you want to quick change it, tuning to a half step down or up, it's not working. So he tuned it quick, and I was, I think, out of tune on one song totally. So I don't like this. When you have 55,000 people and you have one chance to make something good, that's why you see sometimes my face is like stiff, you know, not so happy like I normally am. And I said, fuck, why I said yes? Why my roadie stays at home, you know? He was so brilliant, he always made my guitar good sounding. So that was a bad memory I had. But in general it was nice to be there, and yeah, still like the pictures, to see videos.
What about Master Plan? The last album was your songs with Helloween that you recorded, but you have any plans for new albums?
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of the songwriting process for a long time already, but now I'm more consequent, saying yes, we're working on a new album, and I try to finish this till summer, end of the summer. It should come out this year. So September or maybe second half of the year, something like that.
Is the same guys that recorded with you the last album?
Yeah, same lineup. Maybe I'm singing a little bit more.
Really?
Yeah, because
I've heard you're a good singer.
I don't know, some people maybe not agreeing. But I love to sing, and I did it on my first solo album, and one guy made a stupid comment from Germany. He works on the biggest magazine, one of the biggest magazines, Rock Hard magazine, and that 50-50 compliments, you know. Yes, he's great, I didn't expect it. And that's what I wanted to show the people, not analyzing how good I am or how bad or how far, you know. It's just I wanted to show, I started singing and guitar playing at the same time. And now the last 3 years I'm really more singing in the studio or in the car. I have always long travel to the airport, 3 hours one direction. And I'm always singing in the car, you know. I have ideas, recording ideas. I have tons of vocal melodies now, which I never had, because normally I wrote on the keyboard or on the guitar my songs. But now maybe something is more interesting coming out in the future.
What is your inspiration for singing? What are your favorite singers?
To be honest, Mikey Kiske is one of my favorites. I think he's just brilliant. To get this sound, many people can try and imitate, but he makes it in a very unique, soft way. You know, he's not making it too brutal, like or something. He sings. I remember he told me. I said to him, "How do you do this?" You know? And he was saying, "Yeah, I'm singing very quiet." People think he's a loud singer, but he's not. So it's like, I don't know, it's just an example. It's like, "Here we say," not loud. Maybe this was too loud already. You know what I mean? It's just he's not singing loud. So everything comes from the technique of PA or microphone. So he's controlling him very good, and
It was in the first Master Plan album? Or?
Yeah, he was singing. And duet with Johan. He was singing the bridges and the chorus together as well.
By the way, the lineup with Uli Kush and Jordan Lang, do you have contact or maybe plans to have an album with their names again?
Not really, no. I mean, Johan is still my friend. We always greeting each other, or his wife, or when I see him on a festival, we drink beer and hugging each other and talking. So, but Johan is complicated. I think if he shows some interest, then of course I would say yes. But I was pushing him on the Time to Be King album so much. Please come back, man. This is magic with you, and we were something special. But then the album was out. He disappeared again. So we had already tour announcements, playing festivals, and he didn't show up. He just disappeared. He went to Avantasia.
Now I understand why you want to sing.
Yeah, fuck all the singers. No, it's just a passion. I think somehow I like to, maybe people doesn't like my voice, but I like to sing. But I have to say I didn't record much. Maybe if I hear myself singing, then I don't like it. But when I'm singing in that moment, I like it. You know? This is the kind of thing. And there's a lot of challenging, still learning process. So I think I can get better the next 1 or 2 years and then make a solo album. That's my plan.
So you are a producer, right? You are producing like lots of bands, I've heard. Also a friend of mine here in Brazil have recorded with you. And have you known or know about a new band? Do you like any new bands that maybe work with you that you would like to tell people that they can look up for, that you think they have an interest in work?
Hard to say, because I work with many amateurs as well still, and maybe the most famous bands I have is Lords of Black from Spain, with Ronnie Romero, who's Richie Blackmore singer. But he is now out of the band, and they have now a different guy from Argentina. I forgot his name, the Dio kind of voice.
Yeah, Ronnie wasn't Ronnie Romero you're talking about?
No, he left the band already. The new album, Lords of Black, I'm mixing now. It's done.
Okay, I don't know the guy, sorry.
You know him. He's a tall guy from Buenos Aires. He sings like Ronnie James Dio. I think you know him. But also there's a second singer now. His name is Dino. He's from not Yugoslavia, but this kind of Croatia area. He's on the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He makes some Frontiers records. You should check him. I think he's getting famous now.
Do you think these kids that go there and record with you, do you think they have any chance on this music business today to make a living in music?
They always try to ask me if I can help them to make record labels, being interested, and sometimes it works, I mean, just now I recorded an old band from Germany. The boss is a keyboard player there, and it's a very interesting band. So they have many, how to say, Celtic elements and some interesting stuff, old school stuff, which I liked a lot. And the lyrics are half German, half old, from 16th century kind of stuff. And I told them, hey man, it's not easy. And they found a record deal. So you have to work hard. I think when you have a good product, interesting band, and there's always a chance to get a release. But the problem is, most of these bands doesn't get advance money anymore. So that's a problem nowadays.
That's not possible, right?
That means you have to do it on your own financial. You come to my studio, you have to pay me, you have to do this and do that, and then the record label comes to just put it out. That's it. And maybe a little bit advertisements. That's their only thing what they're investing in nowadays. The business is totally different now, and but still, some people are getting successful.
And about your fans, if they want to try to reach you, are you on social media or something?
On Facebook, you can reach me, or also on Facebook is my Grappo Studios page. So just search for Grappo Studios, and I can give you my card. you can show it here. And yeah, so
I'll put the link later.
yeah, it's definitely not so difficult to find.
You like watching YouTube videos and watching all those young guitar players shredding?
Not so much, no. No, sometimes I get frustrated when they're so good. they have a lot of time to rehearse and play, so yeah, but I remember when I was in Halloween, I was rehearsing every day 5 hours or something, sometimes longer. And when I was young, I remember my longest time of rehearsing or training myself was 10 or 12 hours. So till I was sleeping. And, but now I don't do this anymore. It's a bit a shame because of my studio work. I'm working so much for other bands and making money with the studio work basically. It's my main job. You know, it's stupid to say, but Masterplan is my hobby. We don't do big business here.
Music business.
Yeah, it's like I said, everything changed. Many bands are in the same position, like like Masterplan, the same. So everybody has jobs in the band, and nobody can live from the band alone. It's not possible, except you here, like famous, big.
Roland, thank you very much. I'm very honored to talk to you. You want to say something about a new project, or should people be aware?
Oh yeah, so like I said, new Masterplan album end of this year, and still thinking about a solo album, which is not being like my previous 2 albums. I don't want this neoclassical stuff so much anymore, no. I think it would be something special, like not the same like Masterplan, but between rock, something modern or something that I would love to sing, as much as possible. And then also I'm working with bands, like Lords of Black, you should check out, it's a good band. I think it's coming out the next 4 months or something like that, with 2 new singles.
Thanks a lot, man.
Okay.
Valeu!
É isso aí, espero que vocês tenham gostado, comentem aí o que vocês acharam. Primeira vez, né, fazendo a entrevista em inglês aqui no canal. E agradecer ao Thiago Claro, da TC7, produtora TC7, ao Eric Claros por ter me ajudado na cobertura e na edição também. E comentem se vocês gostaram, de repente a gente consegue fazer mais entrevistas dessa. Eu gostei muito, cara muito legal, e até foi interessante que depois da entrevista ele pegou a guitarra, me mostrou como é que tocava algumas músicas do Halloween. Infelizmente, né, essa parte a gente não conseguiu pegar, mas eu estive lá, tive essa oportunidade e valeu muito a pena. Quem sabe numa próxima aí a gente consegue registrar. Quem é guitarrista aí, não deixa de conferir o e-book Técnica em Dia, tá o link na descrição do vídeo, e a gente pode ir trocando ideia principalmente ali no Instagram. Valeu, até a próxima!